Chicago City Council. And there has been speculation and also praise and criticism on what has been the best use for the Gary Chicago Airport. Many of you that have been residents for years have seen over the years some of the dismal flights that have come in. We had Hooters, we had others, and then it stopped, and then it came again. And so there are questions about the validity of the compact, and is this compact actually benefiting the residents of the city of Gary? One thing that has been said, that the introduction of this compact was merely to prevent competition coming from Gary Airport to Chicago. And one of the things that was said, the reason why we went into this compact, that Midway did not want any competition. And this is just information that we hear from over the years. But unfortunately, the Indiana legislature during this past session mandated through law for the Gary Common Council to end this compact. We as a council, we don't know. We will discuss that with our legal counsel. The compact is due to end by us in 5 years, but we know that 5 years will be here before you know it. So as a council, we need to get as much education as we can on the benefits and or liabilities of this compact. And when that date comes, and before then, we will need to consult with our legal counsel about what has been done during this Indiana legislative session, because I personally believe that the legislature does not have the right to mandate this council to break a compact that we're receiving federally funded monies from in connection with the Chicago airport. So again, we don't know all the particulars, but what I will tell you is that we have been mandated by state law as of this legislative session in 5 years to end the Gary Chicago compact. President Latham and myself, we currently sit on the compact board. And so we will be having discussions, but we also need to look at what is going to be the best use for the Gary Airport. What that is, we don't know. But I think we've been given pressure by the legislature in the next 5 years to begin to figure it out and work with the airport board and administration on what is going to be the best use for the Gary Airport. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman Washington, and for your leadership on that issue. Any other members for special and select? If not, just a piggyback on your comment, Councilman Washington. When you say the state of Indiana, doesn't have a right to mandate us in or out of any contract, I want to be clear about something. During the session, there was just some very cursory valuation done of the airport. And I mean, without getting too deep into detail, about $75 million is the money that you paid. I'm looking into the eyes and the faces. Thank you, Mr. Nowacki. of the residents of Gary have put in close to $75 million into that airport. So for anyone from Indianapolis to come in and tell us what to do without even a conversation, with this body or with any of our people who have invested that money into that airport, that's something that we really need to talk about. We need to stand strong on. And again, I just commend you for your leadership on that issue. I also want to emphasize Councilman Tolliver's announcement about Gary Westside and our track team. You all do know that Gary is the winningest track city in the state of Indiana, and there is a gentleman here, that is largely responsible for that, and that is Mr. John Campbell. He is here. I'm going to embarrass him by asking him to stand at this time. And so all of us, all of those ladies are standing on your shoulders. It just so happens that you're here, so we're grateful for you and everything that you've achieved for our city. While we're celebrating, we landed the convention center. In the 5th district, congratulations, City of Gary. We were at the county commissioners meeting, and they talked about the thousands of emails that they received from residents. So I do want to thank this body for everything that they did to rally us around the convention center. I want to thank the mayor and his staff for leading in this effort, even as senator. Again, the convention center was his idea. So, we're just very grateful that that has happened and that has come to fruition, and we're excited about the upward trajectory of our city. I am having a community forum with my colleague, Councilman Tolliver, who's our newest member of the council, serving at large at Marquette Park Pavilion on June 10th from 5 to 7 p.m. Please come out, meet Councilman at large Mouse Tolliver. We'll also talk about some things happening in the 1st District. We'll be doing a business spotlight. Also have updates on our recent traffic study given by our city engineer, William Allen, and we'll be joined by our development and planning advisor, Corey Sharp. I'm asking that if you bring a receipt from any local 1st District business, that receipt will be entered into a raffle to win a gift card or something else nice, probably a gift card. So please bring a receipt from a local 1st District business, and if you don't have one, go shop at a local 1st District business. No, we definitely want to make sure, I want to make sure that I mention our commissioner, Cal Allen, on the Lake County commissioners, who also helped to make sure that the convention center came together. So all right, now that everybody is in a good mood, we'll have public comment. Please. Sure. Before we move on to public comment, Councilman Whittington.
Yes, thank you so much. Roosevelt, I want to go on before you quit long. Roosevelt needs boxes. So before we can discuss what's going to happen next to Roosevelt, before we can submit an RFP, they're packing as we speak. The faster we get Roosevelt packed up, the faster we can have the conversation as to what happens next. I got a call early Monday morning that they ran out within like an hour. So if we could, our community come together, volunteer our time, efforts, even just sending some boxes via DoorDash or cases of water would be helpful. But to keep this momentum going, I love the fact we got the convention center, but that's just tip of the iceberg. We got to keep on moving. So with that, let's use momentum, let's rally behind Roosevelt, let's work together, boxes, water, bodies, and let's get to work. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Whittington. Any other members, special and select? If not, we'll begin with public comment. Please remember, you have 2 minutes to speak. Please state your name and address for the record. Our time will be kept by our parliamentarian, Councilwoman Linda Barnes Caldwell. The podium is this way. Make sure the green light on the mic is on, and we'll start with Ms. Donna Jacks. Please state your name and address for the record. After Ms. Jack, we'll have Dr. Michaela Stangenberg, followed by Mr. Robert Buggs.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I am here representing the Gary Food Council and the compost grant. And what the grant is, really briefly, is a grant to show people how to compost in their homes. Why is this important? Because 40% of our landfills are filled with food we throw away. And what the compost does is, there's a difference between soil and dirt. When you add compost to dirt, it becomes soil. It has organic materials to help everything grow. With these new tariffs, it'll be more difficult to get vegetables and fruits into our community, which is a shortage already. And the thing that's so beautiful about this is having it right inside the house where the babies are and the children. What are you doing, mommy? I'm making soil. So we can plant beautiful things in our community. So it's important to our community. It's important to our state. But more importantly, it's important to our families. So please pass this ordinance so we can get our people growing. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Michaela Stengelberg, followed by Mr. Robert Brooks.
Good evening. I hope this isn't being counted against me time-wise, sorry. I put things in my pocket. I'm really glad that the issue of the state budget was raised tonight with the airport because frankly, the budget included a lot of inappropriate things. There's already other bodies that are suing the state, including IU, I guess, is pursuing a lawsuit at this point because they decided somehow that the composition of the Board of Governors had something to do with the budget. So for them, their action is based in, it was far outside the scope of the budget bill and that it was included in there to compel people to have to push it through. We have an even better precedent there, and I'm just a layperson, I'm not an attorney, I'm a clinical psychologist. But given the federal nature of the airport, I really do hope that we pursue some kind of legal action here because we're not going to consider another budget in this state for 2 years, but a federal injunction can happen the minute you actually start any kind of legal action, as I understand it. And that's what will stop the momentum of the very illegal and unethical action they're trying to take. I also really hope, I'm really glad we're also talking about Roosevelt. There's a lot of people in our community, even people who attended the listening session, I unfortunately did not have the opportunity to do so, who have no idea where things are at now. And we need more transparency around those kinds of processes because people want to be engaged, they want to be involved, they want to help, and they're just not receiving the information. And that's an issue we've had again and again in this community. We don't really have a centralized base of information. There's like, for instance, 2 city council websites that is really crazy to me. One of them never works, one of them works sometimes, then there's the Facebook, and then there's nothing about city council on the city website. So it's like, good luck trying to figure out when anything is happening. Is that ding ding for me? Okay, bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Spangenberg. Thank you.
Good evening, President Latham and Council. My name is Robert L. Buggs. I live at 4002 Rhode Island Street in Gary. Now, I don't know if I can get all this in 2 minutes, but I want to give a shout out to Ms. Matthew Fitzgerald, Mr. Harlan Smith, Ms. Michelle Woods, Sean and D'Angelo Jones, who are the tree cutters. Very little attention is given to the actual employees of the city of Gary. Finally, after 15 or 20 years, the park department, Howard Park, is getting some attention. However, I did find out that there was a contractor paid by the city of Gary to maintain Howard Park. And all they did was cut the grass and allow the pavilion to go basically to hell. It looks worse. Now you got the city employees doing work that's already been paid to be done. And they're doing an excellent job. So I would suggest that the city employees, the park department employees, and general services be paid a substantial raise so they can take care of that park, all the parks in the city of Gary and the streets, and the potholes and the paving. There's one other thing I want to say real briefly. This was not under the Mayor Melson's administration. I found out that there has been allocated at least $600,000 for Howard Park improvements. And I have some pictures of the city council who wants to see them to find out where the money went. I did a FOIA request back in March, and it was still laying on the desk in the lawyer's office as of 2 weeks ago. So I'm not trying to start anything, but that's my taxpayer money. I'd like to know where the money went because Howard Park was in bad shape, and still is. They tore up a tennis court about 20 years ago, and that debris, old concrete, and the fencing is still there. And I've been trying for 5 years as a precinct committeeman to get it removed. So I don't think I'm asking too much. That little swing set that they put out there, this is not being used. It's for infants, basically. The children out there, I did a video, and they said what they wanted.
Thank you, Mr. Bucks.
Thank you.
Next, we have Charius Anderson. No. Edward Anderson. Sharon Haney. Carol Hill. Greg Fleming. Following Mr. Fleming, we'll have Earlene Campbell and then Alfred Brown.
Good evening, Gary Common Council.
Yeah, but 2 minutes though.
2 minutes is good. Right. Okay, absolutely. Once again, good evening, Gary Common Council. My name is Greg Fleming. I reside in the 3rd District, 1744 Waite Street. And I have a lot of my residents in the on Waite Street and the surrounding community with us today. This is not on your agenda, but we are petitioning to make sure that this Still City Builders construction of the Legacy project will not take place, which is a commercial, my understanding is a commercial type building. And we are residents that we love the peace and quiet that we have in our neighborhood, and we do not want it disturbed. So we're here in opposition to that, and I just wanted to leave this with you so some copies can be made and given to all of the council people. The petition, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Next we'll have Earlene Campbell and then Alfred Brown, followed by Bruce McKenzie.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Our council ladies and our councilmen. I'm here I'm here to talk about a project being built in my community, in fact, on my block. The project is called the Legacy Project, and I guess it's a proposal that whoever is responsible for that project, he talked about legacy and legacy wealth. And I live in a community where it's quiet. It's mostly single dwelling homes. And when I looked at the part of the diagram that he has presented to the zoning department, it's like a large structure, and he talked about having daycare workers on the second floor of this project and the elderly down on the second floor. So that led me to believe that and he also said, not only my belief, that he said he's looking for generational wealth. And on my block, we just have a single dwelling. We don't have that type of kind of commercial healthcare kind of facility. So I'm here to let you know that if it's any way possible, maybe we can all give this some type of consideration, and maybe we can find a better place to build that type of facility instead of in our neighborhood. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. Mr. Brown is next. Mr. Alfred Brown. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Mr. Bruce McKenzie. followed by a L. Is it? L. Tyndale. Oh, Miss Tyndale. No? John Allen is next, followed by Anthony Alexander, and then Raymond Wesley.
Good evening. For those of you present that is not aware, there's a financial instrument called tax increment financing, and it's commonly called TIF. And we have multiple TIFs in Gary. Recently, I did a FOIA request number 572, and I did get an answer from it. And basically, the request asks the number of tax increment fund districts we have in Gary, the locations of any, of all of them, the date each tax increment fund district was created, the date each increment fund district was renewed if they expired under state law of normally 20 years, the project or purpose each tax increment fund district was created, the amount of funds currently held in each of the tax increment districts, the name of the persons, boards, and Gary municipal employees, appointees, or elected officials managing, receiving, or distributing or approving the spending of funds for each tax increment fund district. So basically how a tax increment work, let's say it's this homes of these people here sitting on this side. And what they do is, say it's a project like a grocery store comes, and the grocery store costs $4.3 million for maybe a mile. But the developer said, nah, I'll do a Save-A-Lot. You say, no, we want a higher quality store. And the developer say, okay, I'll pay 3.3, and we get $1 million from the TIF. So the citizens say, okay, they suspend the increased value of their properties over the next 20 years to supplement the $1 million to get the grocery store. It might be a different type of project, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. So TIF in a way could be a good thing. The bad thing is the increase in property taxes from that block of properties is being put over into the TIF. So we don't get used to that, or the city council don't get used to that, use that money in the general budget. This segues to the airport, and you guys is $75 million. The airport is a 10-mile square TIF. That's 20% of our city where the taxes are suspended and set aside to feed this monster we call the Gary Airport. And that would be a good thing if we're getting a return. We should not let the state take our airport from us.
And after Anthony Alexander, we'll have Raymond Wesley and then Jeffrey Edwards.
I'm Anthony Alexander. I believe I'm out the 6th district, that's 4275 Martin Luther King Drive. I just want to touch, piggyback off of what Mr. Buggs was speaking about. I have a tree service, and I'm licensed with the city, and he was, just so happened yesterday, I was down there, I had driven past Howe Park, and they were out there cleaning it up. But what I would like to just recommend to you all that when the time comes, that if you decide that you want to have a reputable tree service to manage some of the vegetation around here, I am licensed with the city of Gary. Me personally, I think it's the tree growth in Gary is out of control. You have trees, they're covering stop signs, they can harbor crime. I mean, you have some trees that's literally going over the streets and connecting. I see dead branches all the time, and we all know what the storms are doing as far as trees falling on homes. So I would seriously recommend and ask the council that when the time comes, if you all decide that you want to do something about these trees, one tree at a time, Alexander Enterprise, I am registered with the city. I would be more than happy for you all to consider me. And as he said, Mr. Buggs said that a tree service was paid to clean up or cut trees or maintenance the vegetation in Howe Park. A lot of them, they get paid and they don't do what they're supposed to do. But I'm from here. Riley School, Bailey School, the Walk. So I love my city. And if you're looking for somebody who wants to show some love to the city, I'm one of those guys. All I ask is for the opportunity.
Sir, I'm your councilman. I've been talking to different people. I've talked to the mayor. I've talked to our chief of staff. I've talked to Ms. Brooks. Is this the gentleman you were speaking of?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. I want to get your information because right now in the district, they are cleaning up the district. Those tree limbs you're talking about. I've spoken to the mayor and the chief of staff about that. We want to take those limbs back as well. They shouldn't be hanging over the street that way. The city will pick them up but we need to get together after, whenever the city misses. What? I don't care. After, talk to me afterwards.
Thank you so much.
Hey, sir,
Thank you.
sir, the number out to the public if anyone wants it.
Okay, my number is 219-239-1961. I'll leave a couple cards up here. These are my business cards. So 219-239-1961.
Thank you, Mr. Alexander, for doing business with the city. We won't even hold it against you that you went to the Wallace. At this time, Madam Clerk, council pending ordinances and resolutions on third and final. I'm sorry, Mr. Raymond Wesley and then Mr. Jeffrey Edwards. Please excuse me. Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to find out, I talked with Darren Washington before the meeting started today. And I wanted to find out some information on code enforcement and absentee landlords. I live on Taft Place, there's at least a couple of them there. As I drive around the city, I see beds thrown outside in the alleys, and they continuously are there. How does that work as far as getting that cleaned up besides, calling the city? I'm retired. I would like to do volunteer work as far as seeing things get done. But I've been living in Gary for 5 years, and some of these houses, I see the same thing happen again and again and again. How does that work? Can you tell me, how does that work as far as getting things done?
I'm gonna try to help you if I can. So, are those residents, are they tenants?
Hold on, Councilman Williams, because we want to make sure we don't take from the gentleman's time of 2 minutes. And then, our staff is here.
What is that? Is that what's here?
Hold on, everybody. And I need to remind the public. I need to remind the public and council members that public comment is not question and answer. It's not Q&A. We usually don't. I understand. No, totally understand. This is a meeting in the public, and this is a meeting in the public. So usually it's just not question and answer. If you do have questions, especially for code enforcement, our code enforcement director is here. This is just a time for you to comment on any particular issue, and you only have 2 minutes. Usually council people do not respond or interject.
Okay, all right.
Thank you so much.
No, we appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Mr. Edwards.
Good evening, council members, community members. My name is Jeffrey Edwards. I'm the executive director of Gary Community Partnership. We're a 501c3. We've been working in the city for the last 8 years, and we work with youth. We invest in restoring the environment. I know I have 2 minutes. So our kids basically, we go through, we do cleanup projects. These kids are very intentional. They're up at 7 in the morning. They're done by 9:30 in the morning. They learn, they learn responsibility. They learn a skill. They also earn money. I'm standing before you today because we want to ensure that there is awareness. We've been doing this for quite some time now, and I still run across, and a lot of people don't know about our organization. So if you know young adults between the ages of 13 and 18 years old who are interested in job opportunities, please have them go to our website, GaryCommunityPartnership.com, and they can register for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards, and for all your hard work. All right. At this time, ordinances and resolutions on third and final.
CPO 2025-31, an ordinance accepting a grant award from the National Institute of Food and Agriculture and establishing a budget in the Green Urbanism Fund, sponsored by Mayor Eddie Melton, City of Gary, Seleta Green, City Controller, Department of Green Urbanism.
Council members, I understand that there is an amendment. Can we have a motion to amend by substitution CPO 2025-31?
So moved.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion on the amendment? If not, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Brown.
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell. Councilman Halliburton.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy. Councilman Tolliver. Councilman Washington.
Yes.
Councilman Winston.
Yes.
Councilman Williams.
Yes.
President Latham.
Yes.
President vote is 9-0.
Thank you. With the vote of 9-0, CPO 2025-31 has been amended. Now, council members, is there a motion for passage
So moved.
of CPO 2020? Thank you. Overview? Welcome, Ms. Henry.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
My name is Brenda Scott Henry. I'm the Director for the Office of Sustainability and Environmental Affairs. And what you have before you is an ordinance requesting approval for a grant that we received to demonstrate composting of food waste in the city of Gary. And it's a partnership initiative, not only with the USDA SEER program, but the city of Gary, the Gary Food Council, and one of our leading partners is the Hilltop Farmers Co-op. So this is a $317,000 grant over 2 years to work with residents who would like to learn how to compost. So we'll have a training program that you will go through. I thought it was 75, but the number is 100 households will go through this program and receive compost beans, and then we will find end uses for this compost by working with the Gary Food Council. If there's any questions, I'll
Thank
be
you.
happy to answer.
Thank you, Ms. Henry. Colleagues, any questions or comments? If not, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Brown.
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell.
Yes.
Councilman Halliburton.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy.
Yes.
Councilman Tolliver.
Yes.
Councilman Washington.
Yes.
Councilman Winston.
Yes.
Councilman Williams.
Yes.
President Latham.
Yes.
Madam President, vote is 9-0.
With the vote of 9-0, CPO 2025-31 has been passed and is so ordered.
Thank you.
Thank you.
CPO 2025-32, an ordinance reviewing a special use permit for property located at 2557 Colfax Street, Gary, Indiana, to be used to allow mechanical and auto body work, sponsored by Gary Zoning Department. Petitioner John Kulak, 2557 Colfax, Gary, Indiana.
Thank you. Is there a motion for passage of CPO 2025-32?
Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Councilwoman,
Yes, I would like to speak on CPO 2025-32, 33, and 34, because at our Planning and Development Committee meeting, Attorney Molina stated because 2 petitioners didn't show and 1 petitioner needed additional time, so he recommended all 3 of these ordinances go back to committee.
okay. I know 33 and 34, we knew that they wouldn't be here, but I thought the petitioner was there for 32.
Yeah, he was there for 32, but he wasn't prepared. There was some questions that was asked.
Okay.
And Attorney Molina asked if we could take it back to the planning committee, so.
Okay. Thank you, Councilman Washington. If there aren't any objections from council members, I would entertain a motion at this time that we defer 32, 33, and 34 at the same time and send those back to the Planning and Development Committee. Okay. Madam Clerk, can you read out CPO 2025-33 and 34?
CPO 2025-33, an ordinance reviewing a special use permit for property located at 2601 East 15th Avenue, Gary, Indiana, to be used to allow light manufacturing activities related to auto body mounting equipment upfit and repair, sponsored by Gary Zoning Department, petitioner Benjamin Ayala, 2601 East 15th Avenue, Gary, Indiana. CPO 2025-34, in order to grant a special use permit for property located at 3930 West 5th Avenue, Gary, Indiana, to be used as an auto dealership, sponsored by the Gary Zoning Department. Petitioner is Eric Tony Smith, 3930 West 5th Avenue, Gary, Indiana.
Councilman Washington?
Madam Chair, I make a motion, for CPO 2025-32, CPO 2025-33, CPO 2025-34 to be taken back to the Planning and Development Committee with a public hearing scheduled for Thursday, June 12th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. and with a public hearing scheduled for Tuesday, June 17th at 6 p.m.
Councilman Washington, I think you're thinking about the 11th. Did you?
11? I thought Thursday was good. Oh, so we have to be 11. Okay, well, let me change that. Wednesday, June 11th at 5:30 p.m. with a public hearing scheduled for Thursday, June 17th at 6 o'clock p.m. Tuesday, June 17th at 6 o'clock p.m. Thank you, Madam Chair, Mrs. Shine.
Thank you. It's been moved in second. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Brown,
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell,
Yes.
Councilman Halliburton,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy,
Yes.
Councilman Tolliver,
Yes.
Councilman Washington,
Yes.
Councilman Whittington,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
President Latham.
Yes.
Yes.
Madam President, the vote is 9-0.
Thank you. With the vote of 9-0, CPO 2025-32, -33, and -34 have been referred back to the Planning and Development Committee.
CPO 2025-35, an ordinance of the City of Gary, Indiana regulating parking meters within the City of Gary and establishing a parking meter fund, sponsored by Mayor Eddie Nelson, City of Gary.
Colleagues, there's an amendment for CPO 2025-35. Is there an, I'm sorry? Oh, we can pass it. As amended? Oh. Is there a motion to pass?
So moved.
Second.
Now, is there a motion to pass? Is there a motion to amend by substitution, CPO 2025-35?
So move, Madam President.
Thank you. It's been moved and second. Overview. Hey, Attorney Morgan, welcome.
Thank you. At your committee meeting, there were some changes requested and some format issues that we need to fix on the deadline. So I'll try to quickly run through those if I may. For one, we fixed the table of contents so that it now reads, first is A, purpose and intent, B, definitions. I'm sorry. A is purpose and intent, B is meter parking, C, definitions, D is fund, E is designated areas, F is enforcement, and G is severability. So, purpose and intent, the text of that section stayed the same. The meter parking section. There were no significant changes in that, just we fixed the numbering. Whereas you had the section is B, and then we had subparagraphs and we numbered them properly. In definitions, we initially had the definition of a charging station, but we added the definition of meter parking and the definition of a parking meter, which may seem redundant, but I thought it was necessary. So for meter parking, we defined it as meter parking is hereby designated to include parking spaces along any street or thoroughfare within the City of Gary and or any parking lot which the city has designated or marked as meter parking, which require payment for the stopping, standing, or parking of any vehicle, include trailers, dumpsters, boats, or other equipment which may be attached or hitched to a vehicle. The vehicle, along with any equipment, occupies more than one marked space. An additional fee may be charged for the additional spaces that the vehicle and its equipment occupies. And then we define the parking meter to include machine sizes for equipment placed at or near parking spaces or in and around metered parking lots, which are intended to accept payment for parking and/or vehicle charging or refueling or facilitate payment of the same in such metered spaces or lots. Then in the next section, parking meter fund and purpose, we added language about charging stations. We wanted to be clear that, you know, in every section, we wanted to be clear that we are including charging stations in definition of what the city will install and we can charge for and collect fees for. Then to move on, yes, sir.
How much are we charging?
That's in the fee schedule ordinance that was passed about 2 months ago, that I don't have up on my screen right now, but I can give you that.
And before we have discussion, you want to complete the overview and then we'll pass the amendment and then we'll have discussion.
Okay. The other things were we fixed the formatting and did spell check, those kind of things. So I covered the significant changes. Everything else was just, you know, forgive me, but I had typos in there.
Thank you for the overview of the amendment. We'll now move for passage on the amendment.
Roll call, Madam Clerk. Councilwoman Brown.
This is on the amendment, right?
On the amendment.
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell.
Yes.
Councilman Halliburton.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy.
Yes.
Councilman Tolliver.
Yes.
Councilman Washington.
Yes.
Councilman Whittington.
Yes.
Councilman Williams.
Yes.
President Latham.
Yes.
Madam President, the vote is 9-0.
Thank you. With a vote of 9-0, CPO 25-35 has been amended.
Thank you very much.
And now I'll entertain any questions, comments from my colleagues. Councilman Williams. Beginning with Councilman Williams.
I just want to know, what was the charge? What's going to be charged for the parking and
I'm gonna have to pull that up. The disadvantage is my iPad has a very bad internet connection here.
I know.
But, I don't know, Mr. Gilbert, or, so $3 per hour, for regular vehicles. And then for the annual pass, if you're a Gary resident, it's 100, it's 75 per year. And if you're not a Gary resident, is it 150? Is it 100 or was it 150?
When can, you all mind emailing the fee schedule to all of the council members?
I'd be glad to.
Thank you.
Yep. Mr. Dillon, is there a fee difference between motorcycle and car? No? You don't think we should try that?
The idea, I believe, was that they both occupy parking space.
Yeah, and again, we passed the fee schedule, but we treat, at least, again, I would say, for the most part, they treat all passenger vehicles as the same. Out at the beach, they really only charge when we have large vehicles that are carrying trailers, that are offloading boats, jet skis, things of that sort. That's a difference in pricing. RVs, because they're parking, they're considered trailer parking. So that's really the only difference in the two. Everything has an end time and a start time. So 7 a.m. start time, 10 p.m. is the end time, and it goes from there.
Are we still using that app that we discussed?
Yes, the app is up. We tried it and it's been going great so far. We had a small kink the first day, but that's trying new things, but it worked out just fine. And we are on schedule to have them going into the program, so we're really excited about that. So we should, and again, we're seeing some excitement behind it.
That's good. Good. Thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions about?
Councilman Tolliver.
Yes, and who's going to be enforcing the parking meters?
Yeah, so what we do is a collaborative approach between Beach Patrol as well as what was our parking attendants. Our parking attendants are there to assist. They will have access via the app to see when a plate is not registered. And it is our Beach Patrol our actual officers who are writing the tickets. We just want to make sure we're protecting them in regards to that possible endangerment or entanglement that sometimes happens with the
I get you. And then we're gonna be towing those cars if they are past that time, right?
So we only toll, so they issue a ticket. There's a ticket in accordance to the fee ordinance that, in which they can be issued for a parking violation.
Okay.
However, if they are in a no parking zone or park on a curb or park on the park area or obstructing traffic, those are the vehicles that they tow. Also, if they have a habitual parking violator, then that person can be towed according to what the laws are in ordinance.
Cool. And we don't have a lot of signage out there stating all that too, right?
We doubled up on signage. That was one of the pieces. Again, we know people are going to adapt. So the very first weekend, the Beat Patrol, Chief Cannon put out there, show a lot of grace. So we showed grace to some people, getting an understanding in regards to it. Even this past weekend, had a very successful event out there that we were still trying to extend grace, reminding people, the person who was hosting the event, reminding their attendees to do it. So we're trying to slope off before we just jump out there, but we expect by this summer to be full-fledged, just like every other community who's using the same type of program.
Seems like you have it covered. Great job.
Thank you.
Any other colleagues, questions, comments? I just have one question. Is there a reason the special fund will be under the control orders and directions of the Board of Public Works instead of the Board of Park Commissioners?
That language came straight from the state statute,
Okay.
so I just copied the state statute.
Okay.
But you, again, we covered this at the committee meeting, nothing can be spent until
Right.
unless you appropriate it. So, and then the use of the funds, which is spelled out in law, is basically for more equipment that pertains to this, and after that, we can do more to expand parking and identity, pave streets and that kind of thing. So, with those funds.
All right. Thank you. Just been getting a lot of chatter online. I got a text message from the president of the MCC Shoreline Committee, and there's been chatter on Nextdoor. So,
We did propose an approach, and we haven't decided on the final approach, for MCC, Friends of Marquette Park, people who are frequently out there volunteering. I don't know.
Yeah, so the Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Suggs, met with the MCC leadership as well as Friends of Marquette Park and some of the other stakeholders in the First District to kind of talk about that. So when volunteers are out there working, helping beautify our beach and keeping the area clean, they would have the ability to put that pass, what we say in the pass in their windshield so that we know it's their vehicle because they are volunteering. And those are the compromises that we can work through with volunteers. The piece of it is also working through that sometimes with you abusing that, right? Mm-hmm. So if they are there enjoying the beach, verifying that. And so again, those are all things that we told them, just talk to us, we can work through and have conversations about, as well as the law department can have conversations with the judge should someone receive a citation for doing something.
I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually speaking more to just communicating to our community stakeholders, making sure that, you know, the fee schedule, that information is shared on some of those social media channels and with those organizations.
Absolutely. We talked about
a video
putting out communication in regards to it. And so the comms team, I reminded them yesterday and following a conversation that we need to get that information out, but out of respect for the council process, we wanted to wait till after the fund was approved.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Roll call, Madam Clerk. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilwoman Brown.
I just want to know, I'm sorry, what is the plan for making sure that these parking meters are established, so people know that they can't, if they park there, they're gonna be fined. And I don't know how we plan to establish that. And did I miss something?
Well, Councilwoman Brown, we put up signs, and Chief of Staff Dumas doubled the signs after the first day. Within,
how are they supposed to know?
So there's signage, when you enter the parking lot, there's signs throughout the parking lot, so signage every place that we've established an area where we're gonna charge for parking.
Okay.
As well as Councilwoman, we talked, as President Latham just said, additional communication, those social media channels, as well as putting out that communication in our email newsletter, but also in working with Chief of Staff Brooks. We talked about when the council puts out their newsletter or their community forums, these are all the platforms we have to continue to deal it in. Again, that's why we stressed, the police chiefs have stressed trying to show some grace in the initial phases of it, but we only adopted this process kind of mirroring some of the other communities. So, yeah, what they're doing. So we didn't try to make the price point any more. We're still trying to be attractive, but we're also trying to use some of the same platforms that they're doing. And also it helps us with some of the State Board of Accountant findings that we've had in regards to receipt issues and things of that sort. So now we are truly a cashless system out at the park, which is the full intention.
Okay.
Oh yes, and the hours, you asked about the hours. It's 7 a.m., which is that dusk to dawn. 10 p.m. is what I'm throwing out as a number, please don't take that. It really is about when the sun goes down. The police start clearing the beach roughly about 9:30, and patrol, as the police patrol committee or group goes out, when they're going out late at night, anything pretty much after 10 p.m., you're out there, you're not supposed to be out there, and the beacons are off. So they won't mistakenly pay for it. Say for instance, they get out there at 8:30, they can't pay past 10, so we want to make sure that it was turned off so they're not being taken advantage of, and that's a piece where they're paying for 4 hours and they only get an hour and a half left.
There were a few occasions last summer when we didn't have staff at Marquette, and so the gate was down, you couldn't go in. So we want to make sure that people have maximum access. If it's a beautiful Saturday, we want you to be able to go and enjoy the beach. And then Chief of Staff Dumas and our Chief Operations Officer Suggs have done a lot to address Lake Street and making sure both sides of the parking lot are open and the boat ramp is open and available for people to launch boats. And so this helps because we can do what we've done before, but more effectively. And it does not hinge on whether or not everybody showed up on a sunny Saturday to open up the parking lot. It'll be open, we can collect the fees, and we'll also have enough staff to patrol it, so if people way overstay or whatever, we can issue citations if needed. So it's about maximizing access to the beach.
You talked about Marquette Park, but what about some of the other areas?
So we first wanted to, like anything else, when you launch something new, you want to make sure you're getting it right. As we grow and with council support, as we develop in other areas, we can hope to bring it to downtown. We can hope to bring it to other areas. This establishes at least the foundation and framework. Should we expound? But should we expound, that communication has to go on more methods and facets. But it's definitely our opportunity to now be able to expand across the city. But again, only in the right areas where development is happening, where we are seeing the tourism. And this is helping generate that infrastructure.
There's some areas in my district where I'd like to see some parking meters. Okay.
Thank you, Councilwoman Brown. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Brown.
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell.
Yes.
Councilman Halliburton.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy.
Yes.
Councilman Tolliver.
Yes.
Councilman Washington.
Yes.
Councilman Whittington.
Yes.
Councilman Williams.
Yes.
And President Lake.
Yes.
Madam President, vote is 9.
Thank you. With the vote of 9-0, CPO 2025-35 has been passed and is so ordered.
CPO 2025-36, an ordinance approving the 2025 to 2026 Department of Services grant budget and revisions to the 2025 local health maintenance budget for the City of Gary Health Department, sponsored by Mayor Eddie Melton, City of Gary, Cindy Green, City Controller, and the Gary Health Department.
Colleagues, is there a motion for passage of 2025-36?
So moved.
Been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Now do we amend by substitution? Colleagues, there is an amendment for CBO 2025-36. Is there a motion to amend by substitution CBO 2025-36?
So moved.
It's been moved, is there a second? It's been moved and second. Yes. We have the overview just on the amendment, the changes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, we have 2 copies of 36. The final copy. Right.
Madam President, may I be excused from the change real quick?
Councilman Tyler, absolutely, thank you. Welcome,
Good
Ms. Collins Ellis.
evening, Madam President. Revision that I'm asking is for contractual maintenance, to take from contractual machinery, to purchase 2 trucks for the Gary, for the health inspectors.
Thank you, Ms. Collins Ellis. At this time, we'll have a roll call vote.
Brown,
Yes,
Councilwoman Caldwell,
Yes.
Councilman Halliburton.
Yes.
Councilwoman Washington,
Yes.
Councilman Winston,
Yes.
Councilman Williams.
Yes.
You, with the vote of 8-0, CPO 2025-36 has been amended by substitution. Any questions, comments on CPO 2025-36? We have the motion on the floor, is for passage.
I got a question.
Councilwoman Barnes Caldwell.
Ms. Collins, you just mentioned about the email, but you didn't put them in there, what you sent us, this week?
Yes.
Is it in there?
The email that I sent over about the vehicle, no, I didn't add it in here. I didn't know that I needed to.
Remember at the meeting, I said, go ahead and change it and send it to us.
I did send it via email, but I didn't know it needed to go in the packet.
That's why I was confused.
Yes. If you
So the revised budget reflects a new number, Madam Councilwoman. It's just, she didn't attach the email, is that what you're asking? She didn't physically attach the email to the ordinance that you asked. I believe it was Councilwoman Ivy asking the specific make and model of the vehicles and their costs. But it's in the budget under machinery and equipment. You see it go from 76 to 90,000.
We took 14,000 from contractual maintenance and put it in machinery.
And these are for trucks for your health inspectors, correct?
Correct.
All right, if there are no questions or comments, Councilman, yes. Madam Clerk, there has been a motion for passage, correct? Yes. And a second? Yes. And we've amended by substitution? Mhm. Sure, Councilman Tolliver and then Councilwoman Ivy.
Yeah, I just had a quick question. So what are the F-150s gonna be used for? Like for
Mosquito spraying, in the summer. Right now, we have 4 inspectors and only 2 trucks.
Do we have a schedule right here?
We do. Yes.
Can you share that with us, please?
I sure will, yes.
Councilwoman Ivy?
Thank you for clarifying. I thought it might have been for mobile clinics or something like that.
Oh, no.
Thank you for clarifying.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, colleagues? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Brown, Councilwoman Caldwell. Councilman Burton.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy.
Yes.
Councilman Tolliver.
Yes.
Councilman Washington.
Yes.
Councilman Winston.
Yes.
Councilman Williams.
Yes.
President Latham.
Yes.
Madam President, the vote is 9-0.
Thank you. With a vote of 9-0, CPO 2025-36 is passed and is so ordered.
Madam President, it's pending ordinance and resolution.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Any reports or questions of city officials? Sure.
Madam President.
Councilwoman? Oh, I'm sorry. Council pending ordinances and resolutions on second reading.
CPO 2025-37, an ordinance reviewing a special use permit for property located at 2658 East 21st Place to be used as a home daycare by the Betty Cole Cummings, sponsored by the Gary Zoning Department, petitioner Betty Cole Cummings, 2658 East 21st Place, Gary.
Councilman Washington? Oh, I'm sorry, Madam Clerk.
CPO 2025-38, an ordinance reviewing a special use permit for property located at 4900 West Fifth Avenue, Gary, Indiana, to be used as an auto dealership by petitioner Amani Musla, sponsored by Gary Zoning Department, petitioner Amani Musla, 4900 West Fifth Avenue, Gary, Indiana.
Councilman Washington?
Yeah. Madam President, I move for passage of the following common pending orders on second reading: CPO 2025-37 and CPO 2025-38 for the Planning and Development Committee hearing scheduled for Wednesday, June 11th at 5:30 p.m. with a public hearing scheduled for Tuesday, June 17th at 6 o'clock p.m.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Brown.
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell.
Yes.
Councilman Halliburton.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy.
Yes.
Councilman Tolliver.
Yes.
Councilman Washington.
Yes.
Councilman Winston.
Yes.
Councilman Williams. Councilman Williams.
President Latham.
Yes.
Madam President, the vote is 8-0.
Thank you. With the vote of 8-0, CPO 2025-37 and CPO 2025-38 has passed on second reading with our Planning and Development Committee meeting.
CPO 2025-39, an ordinance establishing weapon use and discharge regulations in the city of Gary, Lake County, Indiana, prescribing penalties for violations hereof, as well as procedures and policies for same, and all matter related thereto, sponsored by Lord Latham, President of Gary County Council.
Councilman Halliburton?
Madam President, I move for passage of CPO 2025-39 on second reading, with the Public Safety Committee hearing set for Wednesday, June 11th at 5:45, with the public hearing on Tuesday, June 17th at 6 p.m.
It's been moved and second. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Brown.
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell.
Yes.
Councilman Halliburton.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy.
Yes.
Councilman Tolliver.
Yes.
Councilman Washington.
Yes.
Councilman Winston.
Yes.
Councilman Williams. President Latham.
Yes.
Madam President, the vote is 8-0.
With the vote of 8-0, CPO 2025-39 has passed on second reading with a Public Safety Committee meeting on Wednesday, June 11th at 5:45 p.m.
Madam President, it's pending ordinance and resolutions on second reading.
Okay. We just need like a 5-minute recess. There may be other business that we have to handle that needs to be added to the agenda. our meeting, the June 3rd meeting of the Gary Common Council back to order. Thanks everyone for your patience. We left off at reports/questions.
Mention, but just want to make sure we mention them for the general public. We kicked off our 16 weeks of summer. It's an initiative to make sure every Gary went almost in the sense of a deep cleaning and a collaborative effort so that people feel and see the services that are supposed to be there to serve. We're asking the public, if you want, every Wednesday, we will be, get that information, so on tomorrow, we will be meeting at Howell Park with some of our community partners, such as UNICEF, some of our city departments there, and then some of the weeks you will be able to sit down and talk with your council person, and we appreciate with this. And so those dates will be also shared on those Wednesdays, which council person will be present, and they are also even sometimes they're going to bring, you don't want to miss some of the snacks that they're going to bring. So, but please come and meet your council person and talk to them about all of the things going on in your community. See, it is out in public. We're partnering, the city of Gary is partnering with our Gary Community Schools for our Juneteenth celebration. June 21st at 3 p.m. We will have none other than the Shirley Caesar, our West Side Auditorium. We will be there to celebrate and hear some great music on that day. So all our physically pick them up at one of the locations, and you can see those locations on all of the internet and our city website. We will have our citywide health and resource fair on June 28th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at IUN. We're asking everyone that wants to come out to enjoy those resources. They will have medical services there, and again, that's from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on June 28th. Also, if you are interested in marching or participating in the July 3rd, our 4th of July parade on July 3rd in the evening, please go and sign up. You can also sign up by calling 219-881-1311. That's for participants. For those that just want to come and have a good time, we will be there on July 3rd, and we're trying to make it just as long as the last one last year. We are really excited because thanks to the council in passing the Work Big initiative, we are close to graduating our first set of cohort graduates. If you have not seen them, they've been out working. They're in all of our corridors. You can see them. They have the big Work Big on the back of their vest, their safety vest. They're also receiving those certifications, and we are right now, if all of them graduate, we'll have almost a 90% success rate of graduates that are ready for the workforce. So the program is working. Again, it's not something that Mayor Melton necessarily came up with, but we married from another community. But thanks to the council for partnering with that. And for those that did come out and pay tribute for our fallen soldier memorial services, we thank for the council members that were able to make it, and we're always remembering those who have gone before us. And then, last two things, any Saturday from now until it gets really, really cold, we will be out there volunteering every Saturday at 8 a.m. All of our volunteers meet up for our big initiative where we volunteer every Saturday to clean up initiatives. If you know of a group that's looking for volunteer opportunities, please have them contact Markel Watkins in order to make sure we're helping with that opportunity. We want to clean up every single thing we can. And the last final announcement is our bingo. This is one of our age-friendly initiatives from our age-friendly council. This bingo is free. It will be at Roosevelt Pavilion in the 5th District. The first date is June 6th. There will be prizes. The special guest will be Oak Street Health at this event. We want all of those that wish to come out and play bingo. Again, it is age-friendly. That does not mean seniors. That means anybody who is age-friendly can come out and enjoy a game of bingo. So we want everybody to come out. That is another free event. There are a lot of free events this summer. There's no reason to not have anything to do in the city of Gary that is positive and constructive. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Councilman Tolliver.
I would tell all the council people to go over there on 42nd in Maryland. I went out there on Saturday. If you all see the before and after pictures of 42nd in Maryland, it's immaculate. Josh's tree service, and I forgot the young man that's worked with General Service. He's the younger guy, Sean. And I mean, when they were out there working, and I went out there to try to help out, and they told me they had it. So the baseball field, the baseball field looks immaculate. So keep up the good work, and I definitely want to give him some time because he's out there really working and getting things done. So I salute General Services for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Tolliver. Chief, I saw the code enforcement director here,
Yes,
and I'm wondering if he's available.
I'm sorry, Councilwoman, he did leave.
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Pastor Edwards, you mind just giving us an update on code enforcement?
Hi, how are you all?
Hello.
Code enforcement is doing a great job. My team, my team is doing a great job. And we're in need of computers because what we do, we write citations, but our citations, our team writes them on their phone, and then we have to come all the way back to City Hall and print them out, so forth on. And we need stickers for stop work orders. Since we've been in, we probably have put over 300 or 400 stop work orders, and we ran out of stickers. The police department gave us their old 2015 cars. We have, we started off with 6 code enforcement officers. Now we have 2 that we added to, which were 8. And then we have 4 volunteers from our reserve that we have packed on to that. And also, as of, we had an arrest today for illegal dumpers. So we have probably about 13 or 14 this year already. So we're doing what we need to do. Oh, hours. All right. It's 8 to 4 for our day term, 4 to 12 for our evening, and then weekends we have Saturday and Sunday from 6 to 2.
Is that 6 a.m.?
6 a.m.
To
Yes.
2 p.m.?
And the reason why 6 a.m. because we know that they start early, because we don't really, no one's supposed to be working on a Sunday anyway, because no building department is out. And we recognize that people are trying to work before Monday, so we try to get them before they lose. And can I say this too? Code enforcement is one of the departments that reaches every department in the city of Gary, whether it be health department, whether it be police department, whether it be fire department. It touches every part of the city, so we just need more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Where was the legal dump? Okay, say that again. Yeah, he had him in charge, so I don't want to get myself messed up.
Thank you. Yeah, Councilman Williams?
You said no, not yet, you can.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Councilwoman Brown?
Are you assigned to a specific district, or can we just call and you go to any district?
Me? Yeah, I can go to any district, yes.
Okay.
But we have all the other officers that are assigned to each district, and the officers that in the evening, we're trying to get them properly trained, but they have been towing cars and going through and getting banned. Legal dumpers.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilwoman Whittington.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your hard work. Thank you. Chief of Staff, Chief Alice. Needs that Pastor Edwards has requested, that's gonna be in the ordinance, correct?
Yes, that was in that ordinance that, already said, well, I believe it'll be addressed in there.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I really want to make sure that you have the proper tools to continue doing the great work you're doing. So thank you.
Thank you. And also, can I say this? We are also connecting with different code enforcement agencies, whether it be Hobart, Maryville, just trying to bring our staff up to what they're doing, because some of the stuff that they're doing, we want to enhance that also.
Thank you. All right, if there aren't any other questions of city officials, I will entertain.
Well, Donald Trump said today that he will issue refunds of his illegal tariffs to every American business that has been forced to pay those tariffs. Donald Trump, being the most incompetent president in history and the president who knows the least about what his own government is doing, his own White House at any given moment, means that it is very likely tonight that Donald Trump is learning this for the first time. It is very likely tonight that Donald Trump does not know, until I just said it, that he made that promise today. Donald Trump's Justice Department lawyers desperately begging an appeals court to pause the unanimous ruling last night by the United States Court of International Trade against the Trump tariffs, those lawyers knew what they would have to tell the appeals court to get the appeals court to pause last night's ruling that the Trump tariffs are unconstitutional and illegal. And so Donald Trump's Justice Department lawyers put it in writing today that Donald Trump will issue refunds of his illegal tariffs if the final ruling in the case by the appeals court or the United States Supreme Court agrees with the real judicial experts about international trade that the Trump tariffs are illegal. The best way to hide important news like this from most people in the news media is to put it in writing in legal pleadings that very few people in the news media ever actually read. There are some newspaper reports about the appeals court decision today to grant the Trump Justice Department's request to pause the ruling in the case. But even those reports don't find the reason why the appeals court did that. The federal appeals court didn't give a reason why they did it. The federal appeals court unanimously granted a temporary pause in last night's ruling by the United States Court of International Trade, saying today, quote, the request for an immediate administrative stay is granted. These cases are temporarily stayed until further notice while this court considers the motions papers. And that's all the appeals court said. They don't have to say why they were doing that, and they did not say why they stayed the case until at least June 9th, which is now the deadline they issued for briefs from both sides to be fully submitted to the appeals court. One of the key factors in issuing a stay during an appeal like this is that the stay will not harm